To boil the eggs, we put a dozen eggs in cold water and we put 1 teaspoon of salt. It actually helps to make it so that the eggs peel a lot easier. And we're gonna let this boil and then we'll turn off the heat and let it sit for 10 minutes. We're preparing our beets. They're gonna go into the Vitamix so that we can juice them. And we're gonna add the beet juice into the brine. Normally what I do is I cut them up and I'll cook them and then cool them down and then put them into the jar, and I'll have big chunks of beets in the jar and it will still color the eggs pink really beautifully. We're just trying it a little bit different this time, where we're just doing the beet juice into the brine. We're gonna juice the beets in the Vitamix. We added a little bit of water and all the beets, and we're going to puree it. So now we're just pouring the beet into the nut bag, and we're gonna squeeze it. The eggs just came to a boil and I turned off the heat. And now we just let that sit for 10 minutes. So we poured out the water from the eggs and put cold water in. And now we're gonna peel the eggs. We chopped up 1/4 of a head of a small cabbage, 1 bunch of basil. We didn't chop the basil, we put the whole leaves in. And then we used 1/2 of a medium-sized red onion. And we also are doing something very interesting. I haven't done this with persimmon vinegar before, but that's what we're gonna do. And then we have elderberries and buchu leaf and coriander. So the buchu leaf and the elderberries are just something that's very different this time, and I'm gonna see how the flavor will be. I think this will be really interesting. And then we have Premier pink salt, which is really incredible salt. So we put 2 1/4 cups of beet juice and 2 1/4 cups of persimmon vinegar and 1 tablespoon of salt. And then we topped it off with just a tad bit more filtered water just to make sure it covered the eggs. So we just had like 1 inch left that needed to be covered. And that's it. We're gonna put this in the fridge and wait a couple days and just let it soak in that beautiful color and flavor.